Vice-Chancellor, fellow council members and staff of the university, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. It's customary for the university and its guests to gather as a body for the purpose of conferring academic awards to its graduates. This morning we've gathered in order that awards may be conferred on those who have satisfied the Council of the University that they have met the requirements for admission to awards undertaken within the Faculty of Arts and Social Science. To members of a university, a ceremony for conferring of awards is a particularly important and happy occasion in the university year. To all of you, I extend a warm welcome. To graduates, I offer congratulations and the very best of wishes for the future. The mission of the university is, in part, to provide a wide range of teaching, research, scholarship, and service at the highest level of excellence and consistent with its aim of maintaining national and international esteem. The university has a commitment to the advancement and transmission of knowledge by the pursuit, recognition, and the achievement of excellence in scholarship, research, and teaching. This will be evidenced in the course of today's ceremony. Education today is about the acquisition of lifelong learning skills. It's not an end, but a beginning. I believe that the awards to be conferred upon our graduates today will qualify them to make significant contributions in the local, national, and in the case of some, the international community. It'll be a tough way forward, but I'm sure you are well fitted to make your mark. Lastly, I take this opportunity to remind those receiving their testimonies today that as graduates of the university, you automatically become members of Convocation. You thus join some 40,000 other graduates and have an opportunity through elected representatives to become involved in the governance of the university. Through Convocation, you will also be kept informed of activities and developments at the university. By the authority conferred upon me by the Council, I will now formally confer academic awards. Will all candidates for admission to degrees please stand? In the name of the Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I confer the degree of Bachelor of Arts on all those graduates who are present today and in absentia on those unable to be with us. Would you be seated? I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Social Science to present graduates from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of the Bachelor of Arts. Jennifer Cusid Abbott. Catherine Adler. Jefferson Stewart and Rendez. Chris Rendez. Velma Margaret Avery. Darren James Ball. Lee Christie Barnaba. Barbara Marie Beaver. Glenda June Betts. Louise Battery. Louise Emma Bullock. Suzanne Janelle Burridge. Josephine Marie Butcher. Garvin John Butt. Naomi Marie Burns. Julie Therese Callahan. Louise Ann Chapman. Tomaz Cruzaz. Andrew James Coates. Gerard Anthony Cocky. Jodie Connor. Rebecca Ann Conroy. Sandra Lee Cooper. Michael James Cornish. Ryan William Coughlin. Nicole Marie Kraft. Marie Louise Croft. Jane Elizabeth Curran. Catherine Ann DeFern. Lorna Jane Davies. Michael David Llewellyn Davies. Natalie Ann Davis. Anthony Charles Davison. Peter Dean. Kelly Ann Dimmock. Kelly Linda Doyle. Troy Edmund Duncan. Karina Gay Dunn. Lisa Lorraine Edser. Tony L. Hayek. Rebecca Jane Folsom. Ria Farhat. Karen Lee Farris. Josephine Ryan Fenwick. Glenn Noel Finch. Catherine Roseanne Fitzgerald. Belinda Lee Forbes. Anne Forsberg. Maxwell Ronald Fox. Michael Edwin Frew. Margaret Lucille Frost. Alison Louise Garrett. Melissa Ann Gavanlock. Mark Allen Glover. Christopher John Guest. Alan John Hales. Christina Olga Hatzis. Lindell Elise Hayden. Natalie Grace Hayes. Rachel Gay Hennessy. Louise Ann Natalie Herman. Kerry May Heslop. Jonathan James Heyman. Gloria Joan Higginbotham. Elizabeth Hooper. Sarah Jane Hornery. Meredith Ann Hughes. Elizabeth Jane Hull. David Bruce Humphreys. Melissa Jane Ireland. Naomi Abigail Jensen. Marnie Marie Jones. Bernadette Sylvia Kidd. Alison Margaret Lane. Joanne Langlos. Kylie Jane Lawrence. Murray J. Lee. Wei Fan Lee. Kelly Lease. Robin Francis Lennon. Jane Sherry Lewis. Irina Sue Ting Lee. Joanne Louise Lindell. Katerina Louise Lindstrom. Patrick Joseph Lodge. Brendan John Lovett. Felicity Amber Lone. Elizabeth Ann Lucas. Larissa Lupish. Keith Rainey McIntyre. Catherine Ann Makepeace. Okay. Anthony Maniel. Lisa Jade Matthews. Grant Bruce Matthewson. Andrew Bromley Madison. Michael Anthony Mays. Anthony Charles McCosker. Robert Bruce McGregor. Heather Jane McElwain. Margaret Christian McLean. Jane Murray McLeod. Jane Marie Melville. Malcolm Charles Miles. Kathleen Margaret Moore. Gregory John Morris. Ruth Margaret Morrison. Emma Jane Murray. Megan Ann Napier. Patricia Wynne Neal. Christopher Mornington Neenan. Amy Ning. Michelle Ann Noble. Christine Louise Notelius. Louisa Jane O'Connor. Anne Louise O'Keefe. Helen Margaret Oldham. Wendy K. Onslow. Chanel Louise Ord. Penelope Kerry Parkin. Yvette Pasterik. Heather Ann Bate. Amanda Kathleen Mary Pawley. Marianne Lee Pepper. Tamara Julia Potter. Vicky Lorraine Price. Narelle June Rance. Kylie Ann Richards. Adrian Dean Richardson. Bronwyn Ann Rivers. Angela Frances Roberts. Ian Thomas Robinson. Helen Mary Rodney. Linnell Faye Elizabeth Rose. Hans Peter Ruger. Andrea Maria Riff. Arlene Sadlier. Tree Samara Sanson Fisher. Sinzira Areta Sando. Fiona Schaefer. Mari Danielle Kareen Scrubby. Katrina Marie Smith. Kerry Marie Smith. Shane Gregory Smith. Victor Ludwig Leonhard Sulkulski. John Su. Natasha Suzanne Squelch. Saul Ramon Standerwick. Helen Louise Stewart. Sloane Sutcliffe. Larissa Sophie Taper. Karen Reaney Taylor. Rachel Mary Taylor. Christopher Ian Thompson. Gillian Tippett. Nicole Townsend. Craig Andrew Turnbull. Joanne Lee Turner. Amanda Nicole Vaughan. Kim Ann Vutlik. Lavia Sherwood Walton. Yuja Swan Wang. Matthew Dominic Warwick James. Paul Philip Watson. Philip James Wedderburn. Davina Lee Wems. Rini Emma Wilkinson. Christine Bridget Williams. Melanie Jo Williams. Timothea Irene Willis. Simon Joseph Reiter. Wing Man Yu. Karen Michelle Young. That concludes the presentation of Bachelor of Arts graduates of the Faculty of Arts and Social Science.
I now call on Professor Julian Croft to deliver the occasional address.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, fellow graduates. Where does one start a graduation address? This is a solemn occasion and yet one for celebration as well. For a solemn occasion you need a professor. For a celebration, a poet. I'd rather be before you today not as a professor of English, but as a poet, which is a harder calling, and yet paradoxically an easier one. It's easier because all you have to do is publish a couple of poems and call yourself a poet, and somehow everyone else is compelled thereafter to call you a poet. It's somewhat harder to do the same with the title professor. But there are responsibilities in being a poet, because at times like these of celebration, you're expected to produce the goods. And even more frighteningly, because everyone out there is a literary critic of some kind, the goods must measure up. I saw an example of this responsibility of the poet in last Saturday's Sydney Morning Herald. There on the literary pages was Gwen Harwood's graduation poem, written for La Trobe University's graduation last May. Gwen Harwood has been one of Australia's leading poets for 3 decades. So her poem is a hard act to follow. And it's made even more poignant by the fact that since then, Gwen has been told that she only has a few months to live. So I'd like my poem to be for her, as well as to be a poem for your graduation. It's a very hard poem to write. But graduations bring out the desire to say something, and something someone will remember. I remembered a few things at the last graduation ceremony I was at. It was at the University of New England's graduation ceremony last month. And at the end of the ceremony, everyone had to sing Gaudeamus Igitur. When I was a fresher at Newcastle University College, as it was then, in 1958, perhaps unknown to you, it was then a college of the University of New England. A compulsory part of orientation week was learning the Latin words of Gaudeamus Igitur. Consequently, I was one of the few who could sing along unaided at that graduation last month, even though some thoughtful soul had printed the words on the back of the program. And I suspect one of the very few whose mind went on to the next unsung verse, ubi sunt qui antinos in mundo fuere. Where are they who went before in worlds that have been? It's a good question to ask at a graduation, and happily I can stand before you as one of those who went before to show you that it is possible to survive almost 35 years after graduation. Ubi sunt, where are they, where have they gone, was a question often asked by the Roman poets, almost as if they were unsure not only of the past, but of what was to come. That's surprising because their great poet Virgil had given them a rousing celebration of Rome, in much the same way as my generation, growing up immediately after the successful prosecution of World War II, were given to believe in the British Empire and other great and powerful friends. At 10 times the speed of the collapse of Roman certainty, those things which seemed so secure to Australia in the peace of 1945 have disappeared. But I don't hear our poets asking ubi sunt, and that is reassuring. I think in many ways there was more of the ubi sunt about us when I was a fresher in 1958, at the height of the Cold War and at the beginning of the policy of mutually assured destruction. But now that Australians have to take responsibility for ourselves, we don't have to keep looking over our shoulders to reassure ourselves that we are still here. We do more looking ahead, which, as graduates of this university with its plain English motto, is entirely fitting. If your 4 years in the arts faculty of this university have given you experiences and ways of thinking which you can keep for the rest of your life, I hope it has also given you the habit of what the university's motto proudly proclaims, I look ahead. It's something which is absolutely vital for Australia now and in the coming century. Australian poets said the same thing in the 1890s, and we know that often things did not turn out for the best in the 20th century. Despite that, if we lose the habit of looking ahead rather than behind or at our feet, we will forfeit the possibilities in being alive. GLAMx Igitur goes on to say, somewhat prophetically and reassuringly perhaps for us at this moment, vivat et res publica et qui illam regit, vivat nostra civitas. Long live the Republic and he or she who rules it. And long live our town. That's a very free translation. Well, girls of our town, to quote Bob Hudson, and to call you more properly women and men who are graduating, let's hope that our rulers in Canberra, in Sydney and at the Town Hall can hear that, even though it's in Latin. At least we don't have to pass the message on any longer to Westminster and Washington. Before I wish you well and congratulate you on being graduates of this university, which is my own, I would like to read you a short poem. I feel I'm here also in that capacity. And it's a poem that is a reply to Gwen Harwood's graduation poem, and one that perhaps answers the question which perplexed so many Latin poets, ubi sunt, where are they? I've called the poem I Look Ahead, and I've dedicated it for Gwen Harwood. I look ahead. I grew up on a beach where all that was lost returned. After floods, along the tide line, bottles, planks, a bleached drawer. I'd search for signs among the sunburned and the dumb and find them in the dunnage on the shore. And once, at Bar Beach, where a storm had cut a bank, in a band of rutile, money, rings, keys, and a single locket, cheap, tarnished gold, and opening it, my heart sank. Nothing. The picture gone. I put it in my pocket. A few weeks later, my father died, and on the beach, there seemed no sense in anything, just lumps of junk, which marked the limit of the moon, forever out of reach. And all the infinite promise of the world had shrunk into the locket in my hand, unlocked and open in the sun, where suddenly an image of a burning globe turned and spun. I hope that all of you, through the years that follow, can keep your own personal image of hope alive in your minds. There will come a time when you too will be the generation invoked by the question, ubi sunt qui ante nos. And I hope that when you are that generation, you can look back and look ahead with great satisfaction on the years you spent at this university and what it has given you, and with great satisfaction on what the university can give to the coming generation which follows you. I know I certainly do.
Professor Croft, what a great pleasure it is for all of us to welcome you back to your university, and thank you very much for that occasional address on looking ahead. I now have great pleasure in inviting Ms. Kate Lindstrom to speak on behalf of the graduates.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, friends, families and fellow graduates. One of my earliest memories as a child was of arranging all my stuffed toys in a semicircle around me and reading a poem out aloud to them. I used to write out questions for the toys on my little blackboard, and after a while I wrote the answers underneath the questions. Although this was just a child's game, it was also much more than that. It reminds me of just how long I have wanted to teach, and makes me appreciate even more the fact that I have almost achieved this. Teaching has always been at the top of my career options list, despite the fact that teachers do cop a lot of flack. In 1990, I enrolled in a Bachelor of Education course at Newcastle, specialising in English and History on what was then called College Side. I studied in this course for 3 years, and although for various reasons I transferred to a Bachelor of Arts, I learnt a lot about teaching during these years. The experience which sticks out most in my mind occurred while prac teaching. During one class, which I taught, a student became extremely distressed and ran out of the classroom. I learnt later from the other teachers, through stifled laughter, that this child was illiterate, that he couldn't even write his own name. My annoyance that I had not been told beforehand turned into downright anger when a teacher told me, in no uncertain terms, that this child did not deserve an education. In fact, the exact words were, "He's not a human being, he's an animal." Just imagine what memories this child would have of school teachers. The many complaints directed towards teachers, when considered in light of this teacher's statement, may suddenly appear acceptable. The most recent complaints I've heard regarding teachers is that they are unable to face the real world because they never managed to leave school. They also get a lot of the blame for problems with the youth of our society, but the most common complaint I, and I'm sure all of you here have heard, is that teaching is the easiest job around. I mean, just look at all the holidays they get. I find these criticisms very difficult to deal with. I believe teaching to be one of the most important, one of the most difficult, and one of the most underpaid occupations in our society. After all, every single one of us here today has, at some time, been exposed to a school teacher. The same cannot be said for many other professions. For many of us, our teachers have made a great impression on our lives. At the very least, we have some memory of them firmly ingrained in our mind, whether it be large or small, good or bad. This experience, although harsh and frightening, made me learn. I realised that there is more to being a school teacher than simply teaching. I also realised that not everyone is as fortunate as we all are here to receive an education. Some kids, for whatever reason, somehow get left behind. To ignore them is not only the epitome of bad teaching, it is also so very sad. It is made all the sadder because the number of students like this is on the increase. Our children, especially those with difficulties, need patience, compassion, understanding and acceptance. The importance of school teachers and teaching can never be overstated or exaggerated. I know several arts graduates personally who are presently enrolled in the Diploma of Education course and are soon to be teachers. I hope they realise just how important this occupation is, and also that they do not forget they are teaching young humans despite their level of ability. I do realise, however, that for many of my fellow graduates, their future lies in a variety of other fields. This illustrates the fact that an arts degree is a stepping stone to an enormous array of vocations. It offers a broad education and is growing in popularity despite its unjustified reputation as a Clayton's degree. A Bachelor of Arts doesn't only teach content and subject matter, it teaches us how to think, how to question, and how to learn. Although I will be a qualified teacher in 6 months' time, the learning process will be an ongoing and a persistent one. Our degrees have simply given us permission to be employed. I, and I'm sure that my fellow graduates also, are very proud to have studied and graduated at the University of Newcastle. I would like to take this opportunity to first congratulate them and also to thank all our families and friends for their ongoing and unconditional support throughout our university careers. You have both credited and criticised, listened and lectured, assuaged and assisted in an infinite number of ways. We thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lindstrom, for that magnificent speech. I don't think a Bachelor of Arts is a Clayton's degree. Teaching is a vital, difficult and noble vocation. And I'm sure with your enthusiasm and a passion for it, you will do it well and your students will benefit greatly. I would like now to declare this ceremony concluded. May I invite all present to join us for refreshments, which will be served in and provided by the University Union.